Welcome back to the SWS GA8 Airvan tutorial series. In this episode, we'll go through a full flight procedure, from pre-flight checks to engine start, takeoff, climb, cruise, and finally, setting up for landing. Let's begin with the pre-flight inspection. Check oil level. Open the cowling and confirm that the oil quantity is within limits. No oil, no flight. Next, inspect the propeller. Make sure it's in good condition. Here, you can see some paint chipping, which is okay, but we don't want any major damage. Set the parking brake. This prevents the aircraft from moving once you remove the chocks. Remove the chocks from both left and right wheels. Now remove the pitot cover. Leaving it on will render your airspeed and altitude gauges inoperative, so make sure you don't forget that. If you'd like to skip the manual walk-around in the future, open the tablet and enable Skip Pre-flight. The aircraft will remember this setting. Using your tablet, you can now review the aircraft fuel, loading, and CG, ensuring everything is between the limits for a safe flight. Now let's go through the engine startup procedure. Make sure the parking brake is set. Turn on bus 1 and bus 2. This powers the electrical systems. Check the voltage on both buses. You should see at least 12 volts if your battery is in good condition. Verify the fuel shutoff valve handle is pushed forward. Make sure the alternate air switch at the bottom of the panel is off. Set the mixture to idle cutoff. Push the blue propeller lever full forward. This sets it to full fine pitch or max RPM. Open the throttle about ½ an inch. Now turn on the fuel pump. Move the mixture to full rich until you see fuel flow on the gauge, then back to idle cutoff. Turn the fuel pump off. Now engage the starter. Once the engine fires, release the starter. As the engine starts, smoothly move the mixture to full rich. Bring the throttle to approximately 1000 RPM. Check for oil pressure. You should see good oil pressure within 30 seconds. Finally, verify your volts and amp meter to make sure the generator is connected and the battery is charging. At this point, you can turn on the avionics. Before takeoff, first scan your instruments to ensure your engine indications are all in the green. We will now do a propeller check. Set the throttle to 1500 RPM and cycle the propeller lever. When pulling back, your RPM should not drop more than 500 RPM. Now perform an idle check. Pull the throttle back and observe the RPM. Your engine should idle between 500 and 800 RPM. When finished, set your throttle for 1000 to 1200 RPM again. Set your trim for takeoff, adjust your mixture for altitude, and set the propeller to full fine. Magnetos should be set to both. The fuel shutoff valve handle should be pushed in. Check your fuel quantity and ensure the fuel pump is on. Set flaps to position 1, 14 degrees, for takeoff, and then do an instrument scan to verify everything is in the green. Check your switches are set as required. Next, test the caution lights to ensure all warning lights work and are set to the appropriate brightness. Perform a flight control check. Make sure all surfaces move freely. If all is good, we can now taxi into position for takeoff. Check the windsock for the wind speed and direction. Hold down the brakes and apply full throttle smoothly. Now release the brakes and let the aircraft accelerate. At 60 knots VR, gently pull back and rotate. Accelerate to 76 knots and keep climbing to 200 feet above ground level. When at a safe height, retract the flaps, turn off the fuel pump, and adjust the engine power as required. Let's continue the climb. Set the RPM to 2500 using the propeller lever. Maintain an airspeed of 76 to 86 knots and adjust your climb rate. A helpful rule of thumb: start with an 800 feet per minute climb from sea level and reduce by 100 FPM every 2,000 feet of altitude. You can find the tables in Section 4 of the manual. We are now cruising at 4,000 feet. Our power setting is 25 inches of manifold pressure with 2,500 RPM, which is 75% power. You can find other cruise profiles in the aircraft manual that is included in the tablet. If you're cruising above 3,000 feet, lean the mixture. Pull the red mixture lever back and monitor the EGT gauge. Your EGT will increase until a certain point and then start dropping again. Use the knob on the EGT gauge to mark the maximum value attained. Then enrich again until the EGT reaches the peak and stop when it drops to 2 lines. about 50 degrees Fahrenheit below peak. This gives you optimal fuel efficiency and avoids spark plug fouling if using the System Pulse edition of the aircraft. Now it's time for landing. Enter the traffic pattern at pattern altitude. Reduce speed below 97 knots and set your flaps to the required setting. Landing is normally done with full flaps at 38 degrees. When established on final, aim for an approach speed of 70 knots. Upon touchdown, use the rudder pedals for directional control and the brakes to bring the aircraft to a stop. That wraps up this full flight tutorial. Thanks for watching the tutorial. Stay tuned for the next one.